Welcome to the 3 Secrets of an Open-Ended Classroom email series. You'll find 3 secrets to a successful open-ended child-led classroom over the next 4 days, coming straight to your inbox. My name is Melissa, as you may know, and I am a New York City public school pre-K teacher, and I follow this style of learning, open-ended, child-led, all through play-based activities. I'm here to share with you 3 secrets that all of these open-ended classrooms have in common. I've worked in several different settings and locations, all with this style of teaching. Plus, I've done lots of observation in other schools across New York City that follow this type of learning. So I have found many things in common, and now we are going to reveal the 3 untold secrets that they all have in common. Let me paint a little picture for you. Let's go back to 2007. Flipping through page after page of books with curriculum ideas, pre-Pinterest, to find the perfect craft and the perfect lesson plan idea for our weekly themes. Even with a template, it took hours. It took hours weekly to find everything for my little toddlers. Toddlers! I was doing this much work for toddlers. We needed something to fill the time between free play and outside. After searching and searching, there was cutting and cutting and cutting and printing and cutting and more cutting. Whew. Finally, after all the hours of cutting and printing and searching, I finally had an activity ready to go. I once knew a girl who spent most of her time writing pages of lesson plans and implementing behavior management tools like sticker charts and all of those kinds of things. Then she spent her kidless hours combing through bought curriculum and books after books for ideas for all of these crafts and lessons. Does this sound familiar? Okay, I'll admit it. This was totally me. This is what I did at the beginning of my career because of the way that I was taught for my elementary degree. I thought that just applied right to preschool and early childhood. And boy, was I wrong. And boy, was I exhausted. Again, this was pre-Pinterest. So not to really age myself, but we had to find our ideas from somewhere. We weren't sharing as much on social media. All of the ideas weren't just coming to you. You had to buy the curriculums and you had to buy the books and you had to buy everything to get these ideas. It was exhausting. Like I said, this was for toddlers. I busted my butt. And then, you know what happened? These kids spent 2 minutes doing the craft or the project and moved right back on to more playing. These kids were not interested. And in hindsight, not surprised. Now picture this. After those experiences, I walked into my first child-led play-based classroom. There was nothing on the walls. There was minimal furniture. Just a few tables on one side of the room and a few shelves on the walls with materials. When I asked the teacher what the plan was for the day, she said, "Just sit with the kids and play with them." And I thought, sounds easy enough, but that's it? But little did I know that this classroom would forever change my life. After just a few days, I felt right at home. There was no pressure for crafts. There was no pressure to tell the kids what to do. There was no arguing through transition because kids were doing non-preferred activities. I was working directly with the children, and it was beautiful, and it was fun. And you know what we did each day to prep? We set up the easel, we washed a few things, and made sure that everything was organized. 30 minutes max, and that was it. I never had to do anything at home, and we never had to do that much when we got there. I never had to bring anything home, and neither did the teacher. One semester in this classroom taught me more than all of my previous experiences in college education, and it set me on the path that led me to where I am today, which is a public school pre-K teacher in New York City with a small following of like-minded teachers. I get to teach in an open-ended way, making my children the focus using all of the play methods available. I am able to do this in the trenches with you, and I have blazed the path through of my own making. It took me years of working in these classrooms and different experiences, like nannying, one-to-one work, Reggio experience, and more. Does it have to take you years of different experiences? Absolutely not. That's what I'm here for. Do I still have restrictions and do I still have to advocate for play? Absolutely. I am in the USA's largest school system, and there is a lot of red tape and hierarchy happening. But do I still forge on because it is what's best for my students? 100%. And that takes me to our very first secret. The secret of an open-ended classroom is that there is less stress because there is less work and you spend less money. Well, let me just preface that with, depends on what kind of person you are. I still spend a lot of money, but not a lot of it is because I have to. It's because I want to. And I do get reimbursed. You will not be planning constantly or changing themes every week unless you're required to, but even that we can make a little bit easier. Being open-ended and child-led can help create a framework that will allow you to implement new themed materials as often as you are required to, or if you're not required, then as often as you need to or your children require it. No more wasted printer ink and cutting and prepping. And depending on the person you are and your budget, it is less money because you can do the most good with open-ended, found, recycled materials. Something as simple as color, a few items, or a book can be themed and inspirational and inviting. So here are my pleas to you to start taking up a collection. This will make your life much less stressful. Take up a collection for things like rocks, paper towel tubes, toilet paper tubes. Make sure you sanitize them first. Sticks, caps, bottles, cardboard boxes, buttons, string, fabric remnants, anything that you can find. Most people have these things laying around in their house, not in use. I have included in this email a free letter to families and loved ones if you're looking for donations. Right now, to start saving all your old bottle or your bottles that you have at home. Start saving the caps that come off of anything that you have. Save your soda can tabs. This is the stuff that is going to make things less stressful and less work. You do a lot of work up front in an open-ended child-led classroom, but it's going to set you up for good. And the best thing is you can continue to use these materials over and over again, depending on the theme, by just adding something else new, or by changing up the color scheme, or by adding a picture or a new book. The framework makes working within limitations much simpler and easier. And without going home and planning and cutting and doing all of the things all the time, you're going to have a lot more time and a lot less stress. And so there it is. Secret number 1 is that it is less stress, less time, and less money to follow this style of learning. So now that I have revealed the first secret, keep an eye on your inbox for secret number 2 coming tomorrow. See you then.